Welcome to Section 31, episode number 334. I'm Dan Hammond.
And I'm Rogue Schindler.
This week, we will discuss the tournament that I went to, and we will preview the tournament that Rogue is going to go to. Mutually exclusive tournaments, unfortunately, but you missed out. We had 6 players for second edition for our I almost said RISA. I guess, are we still RISA? The RISA regional? Yeah,
sure.
Very good.
What else would we be?
I don't know. Alderaan? Southwest? Who knows? I had a pretty good time. I got to play against, I played against Thomas V, played against Nate, and then I played against JD and TK and Matt. So we played 5 rounds because there were 6 of us. Why not?
And you didn't play the winner? Wait, no, 5 rounds. That means you would have played everybody. Wow.
Yeah, played everybody. So I played TV. I think I played TV in the first round. It was a long day. Yeah, I played TV in the first round. TV was continuing his epic quest. You know how he's been building his 2E decks recently, right?
No.
There are so many Kiras.
Oh, he's going through them all?
He's going through them all. So every deck he plays is based around the next, another, not necessarily the next, another Kira. So naturally, Thomas just makes a deck and wins a regional with it, right?
Well, if it's, I didn't see the deck list yet, but from the brief description Matt gave it, it sounds like it's at least a version of a classic Thomas deck, which I have actually stolen and won with a couple of times.
It was heavy discard, a lot of discard pile manipulation.
What was his Kira of focus?
It's not posted yet, so I'm not exactly sure. I'm going to briefly look at one of these Kira.
Well, the one I recall that he really liked as well was sort of a mirror themed Bajor. So it was that mirror in Overseer Odo and the Intendant and Barial, and you burned a whole bunch of cards into your discard pile, and then you used them all to buff your guys.
Well, that was similar in theme. However, that was not the Kira he used, and there were minimal, if no, mirror personnel.
Oh, well then that's definitely not the right deck. Although that's certainly not the only discard-themed Bajor deck you could be playing.
Yeah, agreed. I'm looking through the. Maybe it was Rescuer. Take up 2 of your Bajoran personnel from your discard pile into hand. Yeah, I think that was it. So he was using the mission that lets you pitch your hand every turn and draw 6 cards.
Yep.
And so he would just build up his discard pile, and he had Bajoran Dukat and the other handful of people that get really big for Odo, the host Odo.
Curzon. Oh, Curzon, yeah.
Yep. And Basso Tramic.
Right. Oh, yeah, he's a tank.
Right. So he would put a bunch of cards in the discard pile. He'd pick and choose exactly what he wanted out of the discard pile and put it in play with that the Vedek guy. And he would go do a mission, and I'd stop half the people, and he'd gain skills and have plenty of attributes to get past anything. It was quite amazing. It was well played. And he didn't lose a game all day.
Bajoran Dukat.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a big tank on that one too. Yeah, so that sounds like a similar theme with a few different key changes. But yeah, that's a fierce deck because even if you're playing a standard attrition deck and you're just trying to stop 2/3 of his people, as long as he's got a big chunk of discard, there's he can fuel those three people that get by and complete the mission.
Yeah, and I think at one point I had him stopped enough that he could just barely squeak past his, I think it was his second mission. By the time he got to his third mission, he had rebuilt the pile again. Just dumped a ton of more cards in the discard pile and was able to just murder through.
Well, that was going to be my next question, was if he was doing 3 missions, because that deck is so easy to solve with. Another version that we were using before that I stole from him was a 250 pointers.
I'm not sure. He might have been doing 4 missions. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't remember. I want to say it was a long day. Sorry. I
Sorry.
don't know. It might have been someone
Especially
else
if
who
you
was doing
played
the
him
4 thing.
first.
Yeah, yeah. It was. Uh, I'm looking forward to seeing the deck posted. It was a monster size because you have to put so many cards in your discard pile. But
Sure.
the discard pile was like his other hand. You know, he was able to play cards that just let him pick and
Absolutely.
choose exactly what he wanted to bring right back to his hand, right back into play, or shuffle him back into the deck, whatever he wanted. Um, he was also using. He was the first opponent that I had. He was also using missions that were 1 or 2 span away from Bajor. So it was constantly back and
Oh
forth as many
yeah.
times as he wants. Um, that leads to what I played. So uh, I,
Doctors without boundaries.
yeah. So I wanted to play something that was, not too terribly difficult. So I found a deck. Julius Melhard posted a deck called Suicide Squad or something, and it was Enterprise D loaded for bear. So you stop 6 people to score 5 points, along with Doctor Beverly Crusher, the captain,
Oh, yep.
to increase all your scrub guys' attributes by +1. And it had a bunch of scrub guys and a bunch of integrity guys, and it just did some reasonably difficult but not terribly bad missions. Uh, Unfortunately, the shtick is emergency evacuation is great. If it lets you take all the people that you don't want on the ship and put it on the card, and then you attempt a space mission, and then you bring them right back again, and maybe do a second attempt, or maybe you're just getting more than 9 people off the ship, or more than whatever you need, so you get exactly who you want on the ship. You don't have to go home or to a planet or have a second ship to dump them off.
Sure.
So the idea is there's only 1 ship in the deck. Well, there's 3 copies of it, but it's just the Enterprise. So yeah, you load up the Enterprise with a bunch of people. You go out and start solving missions. As long as you're doing planet missions, you can go home and back again on 1 turn. But those 2 space missions are a range of 3, and the Enterprise only has a range of 8. So that's a lot of going home and not doing very much turn after turn when your people die. I mean, I didn't have a problem replacing crew between the Enterprise. So there's Guinans to score 5 points. At what cost to lose 5 points? Then you stop 6 people on the Enterprise to score 5 points again, and then you drop another at what cost, or you use those bonus points to do a couple of easy missions, and you're done. There was also mission accomplished in there for bonus points. I felt like I was good for points most of the games, but there was a lot of spinning my wheels, just trying to not go back home. Maybe that means I left too early, and I should have had a much bigger crew before I went out. I don't know.
You need a crew reassignment so you can play directly to your ship.
I just needed someone to give me range +1 so I could go to a mission, from the space mission to home, and then to a planet mission and do it once, and then do the reverse the next turn. Just 1 extra range. Range of 9 would have done it.
Inspiring leader.
Yeah, inspiring leader, or just anything.
Astrolab.
Astrolab would have been good. There were a lot of times that I had there's 3 copies of Guinan, 3 copies of Beverly, 3 copies of emergency evacuation. Those are all unique. I would have had plenty of times to discard a card to do something, so that would have been good. What I did do is, after I came home, I took a look at all the space missions that Federation can do that have a span of 2, because I think that would do the trick. That would really speed it up a lot. And there's a handful of, I mean, they're not great. Some of them are strength missions, but you've got a couple of non-unique strength 6 guys that all become 7s with Beverly.
Sure.
And really, I've got there was Worf and Kern were both in the deck. They're both big strength people. You'd have to not attempt with people like Guinan and things like that. But once she serves her purpose, you save for an integrity mission, or you go on to something else. I think it has merit. It wouldn't be as easy to do as the simple, integrity missions with the high integrity people. But I think boosted might be worth trying out.
So I have a question for you, since I'm a little out of the 2E loop.
Mm-hmm.
The emergency evacuation, that is like a shuttle pod or something thematically, so you can literally just dump your people on it and then pick them back up.
It's the image of the escape pods from First Contact. So
Right.
it's exactly they left it. They shot everyone into space, and then next turn, after the mission was
Pick them all
attempted,
up.
they brought it's an order. The order
Yeah.
is take your personnel from your ship and put it on this event, and the second order is take your personnel from this event and put it back on your ship. But it blows up if you have more than one ship.
So what happens if they blow it up
Well,
while you have people on it?
I'm guessing they're all discarded. So the idea is,
Yeah.
if well, I
That's what
never
I was afraid you were going to say. You moved it over and then somebody Kevined
no.
it.
Well, no, because Kevin would. You can't Kevin something. Can you Kevin something that's already in play? I don't remember.
Yes. So they're not card type specific in 2E.
Yeah.
Kevin, the thing I remember, Kevin is the order. You can do it after it's already been played. Amanda is the one you have to do it as it's being played, or you can't do it at all.
So I didn't worry about that too much because at the end of any turn, you just put them back on the ship. So there's no one going to be on that card on the opponent's turn when they have the opportunity to execute an order.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
I suppose if something bad happened and the ship blew up and then you had people on there that you wouldn't be able to put them back and then they could kill it. But that was really never an issue.
Well, and your ship is not stopped in 2E after
Correct.
mission, so you could conceivably use that to attempt twice.
If you had 12 people or so, or more, you put 6 of them over there, you do one attempt, you do a second attempt, just like you had a second ship. Yeah.
Wow, fascinating. That's really cool.
Yeah, and clearly I did not play this deck as well as Julius did. Julius went on to win a tournament, and I think the only reason I found this deck is I was looking at a Cardassian deck that was played multiple times, and I was thinking about that because it's been a long time since I played a Cardassian deck. But it looked complicated and huge, and this deck looked a little faster and streamlined.
Sure.
Maybe
that's what Cardassians do, right? They're big and complicated and huge. And
yeah. So I had a reasonable game against Thomas. I scored some points, got on the board. I played against JD next, and it was down to the wire. He was playing Ferengi Tongo quantum incursions, so he was setting up his hand to Tongo for the victory every time. He was the one that was doing 3 30-point missions and just Tongoing twice for the win. And he outsped me there, and I couldn't keep. I want to say I blew up one Tongo, and he just played another one the next turn. So he was at 95 and I couldn't stop him. Couldn't float anything to the top of the deck to beat his 7 anyway. So that was good. But yeah, got a full loss there. Then I played TK. TK was playing his same old Klingon deck. Pretty fast, pretty beefy Klingons. I didn't really see any changes there. I made a mistake and let him cruise one of my ships with people on it. I mean, it was like it didn't matter because I had another copy in my hand and I played a bunch of people and went over and beamed up and attempted and solved the next turn. So it didn't really cost me anything because all the people in the deck are so cheap.
Right.
And I happened to have a bunch of people at the homeworld anyway because I couldn't go back and get them. But that was a planned attempt, so I just went over and did. But that was a pretty close game. But he solved investigate prototype and got the Phoenix out, and I didn't see any of my point gain stuff until way late. So I couldn't catch up to 110 points without doing another mission. So that was the end of that game.
That's a bummer.
Yeah, I played against Matt, and Matt was playing a Borg deck, and at one point there was a dilemma pick from him. It was like, I'm going to kill one of your random guys of 7 people. And I got his one transporters guy, so he couldn't solve. Not only that, it was the transporters drone that it's the 5-point guy, so if he leaves play, he's gone forever.
Oh, no.
So we're like, oh, that was the finger of death that he's been getting all tournament.
Wow.
The very next turn I attempted, and he stopped the one guy out of 7 that didn't have the integrity to push me over 35 to solve my mission. So right back at me. Like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. It was like stop 3 guys, and he got the one, whatever combination. It was the one out of pretty low probability, and it stopped me. So he was able to score that one. And then I played Nate. Nate was playing a Cardassian deck, so everybody was playing a different affiliation, which was kind of cool. We had Bajorans, Ferengi, Klingon, Borg, TNG, and Cardassian. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, that's cool.
And Nate sped past me, playing just dumping everything quickly. And he was playing the Ducat, Prefect Ducat that lets you unstop people.
Oh, the
Yeah,
past cut.
exactly. So
Yeah,
he had a bunch of non-aligned guys that just pitch to unstop whoever he wanted. Everyone had treachery, so the high command
yeah. Central
unstopped
Command.
everyone, and his guys gained skills whenever he wanted. So it's like, yeah, I pulled you off for as long as I can. I think I want to say I scored at least a mission or two in all of my games, and I was really close in the game against Matt, the game against JD. I felt like I was pretty close against Thomas, but that could have just been because it was the first round and I've already forgotten how badly he beat me. But no, it was a good game. Good tournament. Matt provided a lot of prizes. I think only one round really went to time and went over, so we were done pretty quick.
Wow.
I think the first two rounds nobody went to time, and we were like on schedule. You know, it's like started at 3, round 3 started at 5. It's pretty close.
Wow, that's bizarre.
Yeah, and then kind of slowed off a little bit there, but congratulations to Thomas for piloting another random Kira deck to the victory. Again, looking forward to seeing what that was. We haven't gotten a deck posted from Nate or TK yet either, so maybe they'll post something as well.
Well, it's a regional, so they're required to, but otherwise I wouldn't count on it if they didn't win.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he has to go digging. It's probably the same deck he's played over and over again.
That's true.
So pretty good day. Didn't play dribbles at the end. It was kind of building up to a headache, so I departed as soon as my round was over at the end there, and after everything was settled, but before all of the prizes and things was gone out. So I took off, and I do not believe there was a round of triples afterwards. So, but good long day. Thanks to Julius for the assist on the deck. It's pretty much exactly what I wanted. A nice, quick Federation deck. And I would love. Unfortunately, there was no tournament report to go with it. I only played it once, so it's kind of hard to tell what was going on there. But there are some. I like that Enterprise. I think I like the other Enterprise. The one that if you solve a mission, you score 5 points, and if your commander's aboard, both players get 5 more points.
Oh yeah.
That strikes me as a little bit more regular. I mean, granted, you're getting your opponent points, but loaded for Bear Enterprise, you can only do that 5-point trick if you're behind. So if you go out and do a mission, maybe that was the trick that I was just missing. Is you're supposed to let your opponent go do a mission while you're building up a freakishly large Enterprise, and then you just go out and just multi-attempt several times with the evacuation. You don't care if somebody dies. You got plenty of people. After 5 rounds, you think I would have figured that out, but maybe not.
Try different. Well, it's easy to say. Well, 5 rounds, I should have figured that out. But if things were as close as you felt, then you didn't feel like you're doing anything wrong. So
yeah,
you're just a hair's breadth behind. So
I felt like I was in all the games. I liked the dilemma pile. The dilemma pile had a smattering of Chula, and I don't know if it was enough to qualify for the achievement or not, but it had the game, a couple of the good ones, and then
I just received an email. Sir Dan achieved Chula, not a game.
Brilliant. All right.
So,
well, at least I got something out of the tournament. But no, it was a nice tight pile that had answers for a lot of different things. Yeah, no, I liked it. I think I might even just take that dilemma pile and use it again because it was so consistent over the course of the day.
Yeah, there's a couple cards in there I didn't recognize. I'd have to go and take a look at.
V'ger was fun. It was pretty much. I don't know if it ever stopped anybody from playing interrupts, but it's a pretty tough. You got to have a good number of people left, so a good filter in front of it, and you won't have the attributes anymore. and it goes on the ship. So there were a couple of times when I played cards and Hard Time went to the table and V'ger went to the under on the ship, and there was nothing left underneath.
Nice.
There was another oddball, a Planet Dilemma, Heart of Heart. It's kind of like Ardent Predator, except on the planet. You pick four people,
Oh.
and they're probably going to die. Right, total strength greater than 13 or Geo on Cunning greater than 11. I think I killed most people with that.
Man, that's really good.
And the last one was Journey to the Past, which is confusing. Not as confusing as Cornered, which is a fail. Have you seen Cornered?
No.
Cornered is a Planet Dilemma that has a picture of the runabout and some Dominion ships flying through the Badlands.
Oh, here it is. 2 Astro and 2 Nav. Sounds pretty hard.
Yeah.
Or command a completed mission with span 4 or more.
I played. Okay, granted, wasn't paying attention. I saw the card. I looked at the stats. I played it under Space Mission.
Oh, geez.
It's a Planet Dilemma that has space requirements and a space picture.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's a thematic fail.
Yeah, big time.
That's a big thematic fail.
The other one is not quite so bad. Journey to the Past is kind of like where no one has gone before for a planet. You have the potential to lose 3 people for a turn.
Oh wow, yeah, it is.
But the picture is very, very similar to Chula, the Precipice. So at least, I mean, it's got the same palette, and there are people in a cave going somewhere, right?
Oh yeah,
3 people. So at least once I put the Chula on the game up, and they flipped over Journey to the Past, and I was like, all right, stop a random person. We got a Chula. Like no. Looks the same, but literally twice, in 2 different games, 2 different opponents. Just assumed it was the Precipice. But a couple of new dilemmas. I don't think Journey to the Past ever hit, but I didn't filter properly. Chula the Precipice burned me once because I lined it up with the game, and 7 people attempted. So I played the game and I played the Precipice. So somebody randomly got stopped, and then he had 3 people in each pile, except he unstopped the person that got stopped. So then he had 7 people. So no one got stopped at all, and no one faced the Precipice, and that was the mission. Yeah. So that's tough. That's a hard one to play. I'm when it works, it's great. When there's a lot of unstopping, or you got to get to that even number, that's hard.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like despite the results, you seem to have a good time for playing through 5 rounds 2E. Sounds good.
I'm glad I went, even though I got handed a full loss nonetheless. I couldn't keep my opponent to a modified. Now 5 for full losses. There should be an achievement for that. But yeah, stay to the end or something like that. It was a good day.
Awesome. Well, that's cool that you had 6 people come out for a 2E regional, and I know Matt was really pushing that hard, so I'm glad that he was able to support that. Next week, we have a 1E not regional, but I believe a release event.
That's right.
So we're going to break some bows.
Or
something.
Something about. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. I'm interested to hear how that goes for reasons, and yeah. So you start on the deck already?
Well, so here's the thing.
Oh.
I had a couple of ideas. The primary one I wanted to play is requiring a lot of effort to put together. It's requiring actual deck building, and nobody's played with the cards I want to use yet. So I can't find somebody who has got those. So if I wanted to, there should be an achievement. Play with the card nobody's played with yet. God,
yeah,
that would be so hard to track. But there is some others. There's also a less thematic. There was a couple splash cards in the new set that I was really looking forward to, for not some of the main affiliations, but some other affiliations, and those look interesting. Those do look like they have people who have played it, so I could do that or use another deck I was considering and splash those in. I think the next 2 days schedule are probably going to determine whether or not I can actually get a good design together from scratch for the my primary plan versus throwing something together and splashing some other stuff. So your guess is as good as mine. We got a good. It's a close race, but
All
I'm
right.
definitely looking forward to playing. I definitely plan to be there, and I'm excited to try out at least some of the new cards. I'll definitely have some in there so we can see. It's always nice to try some new dilemma combos and see how they work with the old cards. So, and I'll be interested to see if the errata comes into play at all, because I know Johnny, at least, was really big fan of Habit of Disappearing.
Well, he's already posted on the boards that he'll still use it.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, I saw the errata, and I was like, I could see the deck types that would be affected by that might have been abusing it, but I don't think that's anything he was ever doing. He just, Johnny likes having big fat decks, and that's a great way to have, you can have multiple copies of good cards in your deck, hoping to draw them, and if you pitch them, you don't really care. You draw another one. It's a
exactly. And for one, probably 3, maybe the first turn if you're not fast enough, but from then on, lose a card to draw a card. Still sounds pretty good.
Yeah. So I think the only change that's going to be is we'll have bigger out of play piles.
As long as we don't start using that as a second discard pile, right? That would be annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as there aren't cards that be like, oh, take something from your out of play pile.
Exactly. All right. Well, I'm looking through the set quickly, trying to figure out maybe what cards don't have anybody playing anything yet, but I don't see anything. So I've only gotten as far as the missions. All right. Well, good luck. I'm really looking forward to hearing how it goes, and you'll have to tell me what everyone plays, and take a lot of notes, and we'll talk about that next Monday.
Yeah, that sounds good. In the meantime, that's all the intelligence we have this week. So I am Sir Rogue.
And I'm Sir Dan.
And I will remind you all to expand your broken bow in the universe.
And I will adjudicate something with forehead ridges to end.